Hello, and welcome to the Pun Show, where the puns never stop. Maybe I should start using that as my standard intro. What do you think? Where the puns never stop. Just gonna check something out here. Um, so, how's everybody doing? We have some pretty interesting things happen in the last 24 hours. You may or may not have heard this, but Pan Bondi is out. Yeah, no more Pan Bondi. Too bad, so sad. I guess I'll have to cry. Are you sad? I'm not. All right, let me was there. So anyway, that's a big thing. Here's a joke for you. How is Pam Bondi like a baseball player? She's out of there. No. Okay, well, there's that. She apparently was not doing a good enough job of doing Kash Patel's job. Apparently, it's her fault that he couldn't get enough dirt on Donald Trump's political opponents to prosecute them. I'm old enough to remember when he thought that was bad, but now I guess whatever. The entire thing is just so incredibly messed up. But yeah, here we are without Pam Bondi. I'm hearing Marco Rubio is going to be the new attorney general in addition to his dozen other jobs. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, hey Brett, how you doing? Thanks for dropping in and saying hi and just letting me know that there is somebody out there to say something. This new format doesn't do as good of a job as of letting me know how many viewers are watching at a time or whatever. So that's one thing, is the Pam Bondi thing, and so it looks like maybe Todd Burrows is. I wonder who her the is it what's his name? The one assistant guy is the backup plan for right now. And what's his name? Todd Blanche, that's it. That's got to be about the whitest name in the history of names. Anyway, she was about the most useless, inept, pathetic excuse for an attorney general in the history of the country. But I'm sure he will find somebody even worse. That's a good idea. Brett says you should set up a cell phone to watch your own stream. I'm tired today, y'all. I did a lot of stuff before the show started, which kind of has me depleted a little bit. But I made some cinnamon rolls from sprouted wheat. I use whole grain, like I grind my own grain, and so I made some cinnamon rolls from that. I had some fermented apples I put inside them, and with the filling, and I also used a fermented cream frosting. It's really good. I don't know if you've done much stuff with fermenting, but fermenting is actually really, really tasty. Don't think like sauerkraut and kimchi. Fermenting is a much bigger world than that. So, what else is going on in the news? Oh, is there another firing? One person on Blue Sky says, just to note that Noam and Bondi weren't fired for their evil actions. They were fired for not being evil enough, which is true. So there's the Iran war is going on. That's something else. It is not going well. Last night, Donald Trump had his little diatribe thing on. There was just really a lot of nonsense. I mean, it was really just what friend of the program and friend in real life, Kitty, described his speech last night as he had a primetime address to let everybody know that he went poopy, which was an accurate. I mean, like that's a very accurate description. There wasn't anything that new that came of it, but what came out of it is oil prices went up. Shock, shock, shock. It's up to $111.40 a barrel now. And there's also the fact that Russia is having some issues, and so they had to cut down on their exports, and so that means there's going to be even less oil. Russia's issues have to do with the Ukraine war and getting bombed by Ukraine and everything, but they don't have as much gas now either, and so while it's not going to have as big of an impact on the worldwide oil supply or gas supply as what's going on with the Straits of Hormuz, it adds to it. And there's it's called a compound shock to the system. It's compounded system shock. That's what it's called. And that's about what we're about to experience. We're already up to gas prices in the U.S. today are up to $4.08, and that was before oil prices went up another $10 a barrel. So I imagine we're going to see it shoot up even more over the next week. The highest prices in the history of gas prices in America was 501.6 back in 2022. June 14th of 2022 was the all-time high, and we are rapidly coming up on that. Diesel now is up to 550, and the all-time high for that is 581. So we're coming up on the all-time high of both diesel and regular old gasoline. And this is like not the same as when gas prices went up under Biden. Under Biden, gas prices went up for a number of reasons that had nothing to do with Joe Biden. Joe Biden is not the reason, in spite of what Republicans would like to tell you. Joe Biden is not the reason that Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine. And that was one of the biggest reasons for the escalation in oil prices. The second thing is the supply chain issues and everything like that that were caused by the COVID. What happened with that was because everything was shut down, OPEC Plus reduced the amount of oil it was putting out into circulation. Then things opened up quicker than expected. So there wasn't enough, the same amount of oil that was out there. And so that caused there to be less oil than we needed. And then on top of that, you had Russia invade Ukraine, which also caused another thing to happen. So that was, another compounded supply thing and a compounded system shock. And none of that had anything to do with Joe Biden. Joe Biden is not the reason that things shut down during COVID, in spite of what many MAGAs seem to believe. I can't believe how many comments I've seen blaming Joe Biden for things that happened in 2020. Like I seriously think Republicans believe or that Joe Biden was president in 2020. By the way, Joe Biden was not the president in 2020. Just in case you didn't know that, the one that was in president in 2020 was Donald Trump. So when you're talking about, stuff like the elections and the government telling Twitter what to delete, yeah, Donald Trump was in charge of the government. So what else is going on? Seems like I'm missing. Oh, there's the whole thing about going to the moon, which honestly I don't care about. We're paying for this war that we don't need to be having. We're paying for rich people to get tax cuts. We're talking about cutting SNAP benefits and Medicare from the poor to pay for the war, like having rich people pay for it. And now we're doing this silly flight to the moon for no reason at all. Like what good is that going to do? Why can't we scrap this little moon trip and save some money there to pay for Donald Trump's war? Hey, Galapagos. Over $16 trillion. I think this is the first time I've seen you. I like the name. Over $16 trillion has been pissed away. Over 38,000 Americans and millions of people globally have passed away because of Israel and tyrants. When will it end? What do you mean $16 trillion has been pissed away over 38,000 Americans? I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't know what 38,000 Americans you're referring to, or for that matter, what $16 trillion. So I can't tell you when it'll end because I honestly don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, it seems like they're trying to hype up this moon thing. Like this is 1969 and we've never been there before. Do I remember the stream a week ago? What stream? I mean, like my stream? I remember having a couple of streams a week ago. What specifically are you referring to? I do not remember you. I have no idea who you are, Gon. I'm sorry. 38,000 Americans have been killed because of Israel and tyrants. How do you figure that? I honestly don't know what 38,000 Americans you're referring to that have been killed because of Israel and tyrants. Yeah, sorry, guy. I really do not know who you are. If you can refresh my memory. So I can't tell you how many sci-fi movies I've seen where the astronauts come back to Earth and it's just a glowing ember. I hope that doesn't become a reality. Really? That is a fair point. I remember in 1969, I was 2 years old. And when man first landed on the moon. And it's like I think it might be my earliest childhood memory. I was sitting in my mama's lap, because that's what we call our grandmothers in Louisiana. and I was sitting in my mama's lap, and she was telling me, "Now watch this. You're gonna want to remember this when you're older." And I just saw this little thing going through space, and the I remembered it. I remembered that for some reason. It's stuck in my head. This is not the same thing. We're not going to rally behind this patriotically. It's not going to be this, uh, uniting American moment the way that it was in the 60s. It's just a waste of money. We've been there. We've done that. There's no reason to go back. We're not getting anything out of this. Elon Musk keeps, like trying to act like this is some precursor to going to Mars. Colonizing Mars is impossible. All right. It's just impossible. Like, look at the science on it. You can't just go and terraform a planet. If you could terraform a planet, we could just like terraform our planet instead of continuing to ruin it. You can't terraform a planet. It's not that easy. Wars, terror attacks, and suicides after those wars. I still don't know what you're talking about. Would you tell me which wars, which terror attacks that Israel has committed? It just seems like you're blaming Israel for stuff. And tyrants. I don't know which. Do you know who's a tyrant? Donald Trump is a tyrant. Donald Trump went on TV last night and threatened to commit war crimes against civilians in Iran. And you can tell me Iran's government is bad, and I agree with you. But A, that's no reason to kill Iranian civilians. And B, if you want to go to war with Iran over that, go and make that case to Congress, have them approve it. And this is, I just feel this is so essential. The reason that the framers gave Congress the power to declare war is because at the time that they wrote this, the representatives in the lower house were the only ones that were directly elected by the people. The president was elected by the Electoral College. The senators were elected by the representatives. And the Supreme Court was nominated by the president and approved by the Senate, like they still are. The only ones that had a direct say, the people had a direct say in, were the House of Representatives. And they had to go and they had to defend whatever they did every 2 years. That's why they're also the ones that are elected the most frequently, so that people could have a say. And war is one of those things that people would like to have a say in. And what Donald Trump has done is he's avoided having the conversation, even having a national conversation about whether we go to war or not. And even though George W. Bush lied to drag us into the Iraq war, and I was screaming that he was lying the entire time, at least he had the decency to lie. At least he had the decency to have a conversation. Donald Trump didn't even do that. What Donald Trump did is worse than what George W. Bush did. George W. Bush lied about why we needed to go to war and then went to war. Donald Trump went to war and then lied about why we needed to go to war. He's been paid over $1 million from. Yeah, I don't know what your obsession is with Israel here, dude. But we are not an anti-Semitic channel. I don't blame Jews for everything. If you are, then you're just no different than a Nazi. And I'm not going to humor you. Like, if you keep posting that, you're not welcome on the channel to sit there and just spew anti-Semitic propaganda. Sorry. Hi, sir. Hi, Aaron. I guess gone, left because I don't remember him. Didn't want to remind me. Planes rank all the Jurassic movies. Hint: there is only one right answer. Um, I haven't seen them all. I don't know if that's the right answer. I like the first one. There was one that came out a few years ago. The one, I don't know. I like maybe two of them. Um, Another one fired. Rejoice, rejoice. Hey Gary, how you doing today? Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. So, how is Pam Bondi like a birthday candle? She's out. Yeah, because the kid blew out the candle. There is how is Pam Bondi? How is Pam Bondi like a baseball player? She's out of there. There is an ICE agent. I said that one earlier, but now somebody's around to appreciate it. There is an ICE agent that is coming to my university on April 27th at 5 p.m. for questions and answers. I am not going because I severely hate what ICE is doing to American citizens. I'd almost be inclined to go and ask him questions that he doesn't want the answer to, that he won't want to answer. I'm doing okay. I made some cinnamon rolls today and I just had one and they were so good. Wish I could share one with you, Gary. Do you like cinnamon rolls? Made cinnamon rolls from fresh milled sprouted flour. I sprouted the grain myself and dehydrated it and then ground it and milled it. And then I made it into cinnamon rolls that had fermented apple in the filling and fermented cream for the frosting. Well, with the frosting. There was some sugar in there too. Anyway, they were very, very good cinnamon rolls. So anybody have any thoughts on Donald Trump's speech last night? Feel free to discuss that. So this guy says third term, baby. Congratulations. I hope the baby ends up becoming healthy. I just saw the headlines that Trump called a rock star legend a complete loser. Oh, is he back to insulting Bruce Springsteen? Because Bruce Springsteen had the audacity. Yeah, Donald Trump has this, and apparently, the Supreme Court are a bunch of hacks now, and everything that. All right. So Kitty just joined the studio. Kitty, would you like to join the show? No, Kitty wants to stay in hiding for right now, which is fine. But welcome, Kitty. Hope you're doing good. But so where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? We got to go back to the chat. Chat. There we go. Oh, I was telling them, Kitty, about your recap of the what was your recap that he just had a primetime conference to let everybody know that he made poo poo or something like that. He made a boom boom. That sounds awesome that you did all that yourself. Thank you. It's really good for my health. I missed a speech, but I heard it was worthless. Hello, kittens. Trump is a loudmouth loser from New York City. This is the I get the feeling. So she told me he made a poopy. That was his words. Trump made a poopy. That was Kitty's recap. I thought it was very on point. Red says, hi, kitty. Cave mode. Bye, Bondi. Can we call her the Gone Girl now? Um, Maybe we can get Ben Affleck. Oh, you know something I haven't brought this up at all that I'm sure nobody will have thoughts on. But what about Christy Noem's husband being I don't know what to call it, drag queen maybe? I don't know what to call him. But boy, I have no problems with his particular self-chosen lifestyle. But I do find there's a certain irony to that, like why aren't Republicans saying anything about it? I really wonder. Okay, so what happened to Bondi? She's out. She's gone. She's no longer Attorney General. He's doing the Christine OM thing where he's giving her a different position. But yeah, she's not the AG anymore. Todd Blanche is stepping in for now. I'm assuming that Marco Rubio will just add this to his portfolio of jobs because he's got like basically all the other jobs. Are you from Mexico? I am not from Mexico. I've been to Mexico. She asked for privacy. Oh, regarding her husband's the same kind of privacy she gives to the people that were illegally shipped off to prison and then posts photographs of them in their underwear. How kind of her to want her privacy now. Todd Blanche equals Satan Zanus. Like his name literally. I mean, I'm not trying this. Anyway. Todd Blanche. That man has about as much credibility as Donald Trump. All the crap Noam did and she and said and pointless stuff is what makes her down. I'm going to call out Brian, every chance I get. Same with Christie. And I'm not going to listen to people trying to say it's anti anything. They lost the right way when they lost that right when they became hypocrites about it. Is anyone going to prosecute her? I mean, nobody's stepping up and growing a pair. I really think somebody should. I'm old enough to remember when Republicans said that perjury was illegal, and she definitely committed perjury. Are you one of those boomers who think Iranians are just desert terrorists when Iran has the fourth highest? Okay, we're going to start answering this question by saying I'm not a boomer. I don't even know what a desert terrorist is, so I certainly don't have any thoughts about Iranians just being a desert terrorist. When Iran has the fourth highest IQ globally, I have no thoughts on that at all. I think IQ is stupid, and I think most of the IQ stats people quote are dumb, and or made up, because they are dumb, and or dumb because they are made up. I really don't care. I think that Iran had some people running it that were evil. I also think that the United States has some people running it that are evil. I don't think two wrongs make a right. I don't think bombing 150 schoolgirls makes Iran any better or worse. The Oversight Committee. Oh, the Objective Oversight Committee. If for no other reason, I want the Democrats to win just so that they can take over the Oversight Committee and then James Comer won't sit there and prance around like a stupid rooster. Todd's the new man on the poop list. for now. I think it's only temporary, but who knows? Maybe he'll end up being the AG. The guy that gave what's her name? Can't think of her name. Anyway, the guy that gave her the sweetheart deal to where she could, play with puppies. The Epstein's co-conspirator. This is the most blatantly corrupt admin. Noam also stole $240 million. There's the whole thing with the planes. There's like just brazen corruption from Donald Trump. Word, Kelly, I think that's in response to what I was saying about not having Comer prance around like he's important anymore. I just love to not hear from him anymore. People that quote IQ don't know anything. It's antiquated. It's actually, a lot of people don't know this, that IQ is actually the very the principle of it is racist in nature. It was to establish that some races are smarter than other races and prove that. And then there were some things like vernacular and stuff that stacked it a certain way. I think IQ is stupid. I mean, and I know like I'll just say my IQ is 149. I'm not saying this as somebody that thinks they're stupid because mine is low. I mean, I have what is considered a high IQ, and I think it's stupid. I don't think anything of it. I don't think it makes me, that my IQ makes me smarter or dumber than anybody else. I think that in some ways I'm smarter than other people, and I think in some ways I'm dumber. But IQ is just, the whole thing, like even the words like idiot and moron and stuff like that were categories of IQ that were like 80 and 60. I can't remember which one is dumber, idiot or moron. And, they were used to systematically prove that black people were, stupid. Bitching about IQ is like claiming spinach still makes you super strong. I bites to the finish because I eats my spinach. Are you telling me that eating spinach doesn't make me super strong, Brett? Because, man, that's a little bit heartbreaking. Popeye was my favorite cartoon when I was a kid. Conspiracies, OMG, Democrats win, you are insane. Why does Iran put bombs bicycles? I have no idea what you're talking about. All I know is that conspiracy, I don't know what conspiracy you're talking about. I know that the United States military fired not one, but multiple missiles at a school and killed 150 children. Don't worry, the Democrats win next time and they'll set everything back to what was like 20 years ago. I don't know that that's true. I don't know that that's what they want. I don't know that. I definitely know that's not what I want. And I honestly have not ever heard one Democrat say, "Let's make things like they were 20 years ago." So I don't even get like in sarcasm what you're trying to be sarcastic about. It's very culturally biased. IQs are. They are very, very culturally biased. Yes, IQ is racist. Look it up, dude. Like measuring bumps on the skull of the 1800s to determine intelligence. Yes. It is racist. Here, let me see if I can pull up. Here, I'll just share my screen here Because apparently, some people don't know anything. And so then if you say it, then they think that you're nuts. So I'm just going to read a little bit of this to you. The history of race and intelligence controversy concerns historical developments. See, there's a whole Wikipedia article on it. I won't read it to you, but I'll drop it in here. Pseudoscientific claims of inherent differences in intelligence between races have been played in a central role of scientific racism in the late 19th and 20th century. Group differences in intelligence were often assumed to be racial in nature. Apart from intelligence tests, research relied on measurements such as brain size or reaction time. By the mid 1940s, most psychologists had adopted the view that environment and culture factors were predominated. So here's the link to that article if you are interested in reading it. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely not some crazy thing that I'm making up. Okay, well, how do I? Where'd my? Okay. Trying to figure out how to unshare my screen now. All right, sorry. Yeah. There we. For some reason. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now I figured out how to do that. Didn't know how to this first time I tried that and totally messed everything up. So anyway, yeah, I know that apparently some people had no idea that IQ tests have this big racist history, and instead of actually Googling it like an intelligent person, they just sit there and they cream out stupid stuff like this. I mean, like Gregory, George, or whatever, McGregor, McGeorge. Look it up, dude. I just showed you. You can stop being a stupid idiot now. Read and research, and caps don't make you smarter either. Dems are not the only ones saying that the U.S. was trash and dead. Yeah, somebody's like Donald Trump, when he says "Make America Great Again," is saying somehow that it is less than what it once was. So he's the one trashing the United States, not the Dems. You forgot to type it in caps, George. They didn't do nothing. You really don't have any clue at all, do you? Are you saying that the United States killed those kids on purpose? I am saying that they killed those kids because we went to a war without. I am saying that those kids are dead. Number one. Number two, I'm saying that they're dead because we went to war with Iran. Number three, I am saying that if we did not go to war with Iran, those kids would still be alive. And number four, I am saying that Donald Trump didn't get permission from Congress to declare war before he decided that we were going to go to war with Iran unilaterally. And so if he had tried to get approval from Congress, I don't think he would have gotten it. And if he hadn't gotten it, then we wouldn't have dropped bombs on that school and those children would not be alive. Or those children would not have been unalived. I like this guy subscribing. Thank you. I appreciate the the follow. Let's mow that lawn together. There's this one guy that um I see him on Facebook Reels and YouTube that goes around and he like mows people's lawns for them that are like they can't afford it. Like he sees these like really rundown lawns and offers to help people. Anyway, those are kind of cool. The guy's kind of cool. I like his little video. I'm saying the Democrats will win. I don't know if that's the let's mow that lawn together guy. I don't think it is, but anyway. I'm saying that the Democrats will win and they'll put everything back like they had it. What do you mean like they had it? What does that mean though, Gary? What does it mean? Put everything back like they had it. Put what back like what? Okay. So China and Russia comprise 70% educated trolls. They actually school people on how to do this and have a giant call center like facilities just for what people are doing right now. And he's doing it for That's right. Yeah, you not even like they talk about us being paid by George Soros. Oh, I think that the Democrats will win the next election, but I don't think that their goal is to get things back to the way that they used to be. I think some things they'll want to have back to the way they used to be, like to where like the presidency is not like a just slush fund, but I don't think that their goal is to get us back to where we were 20 years ago. I'm not saying you said we were. I'm just responding to what you did say. Oh, no, Gary, there's another guy that was saying that the whole that IQ being racist is that I was responding to another guy, not to you. With so much access, people seem far more ignorant than they once were. Maybe I'm just getting old. I came back from I got out of the military in October of 1990. And I came back and there was like while I was gone, the 2 years I was over there, this whole internet thing started happening. And if you live overseas, you're not tapped into US news, especially back in that days where it's like you actually had to watch the news and read the paper to get the news because there was no internet yet. So anyway, I came back and they started talking about the information superhighway and how this was. They were debating whether or not this was bigger than the invention of the printing press, and how like just all the books ever written could just be put online, and like just the vast amounts of knowledge that people could have. And it's just like nobody anticipated that everybody would just burrow into their little silo where the only thing that they learned was stuff they wanted to believe. I talk about stupid people on this show, and when I talk about stupid people, I'm not talking about IQ or something like that. I'm not talking about like capacity to understand. To me, a stupid person is a person that takes new information that contradicts what they already believe and rejects that new information in favor of their belief. An intelligent person is somebody that takes in new information that contradicts what they believe and they change their belief based on that information. Stupid people don't learn, intelligent people do learn. To me, that's the difference. And I just guess we didn't anticipate how many stupid people there were. When Donald Trump says "make it great again," he really means bring it back to a time when you could say the N word out loud. I think he wants to take us back to the industrial age, like to the 1890s, when child labor was legal and there, we were just 100% run on tariffs and all of that kind of stuff. If these people in the chat could see the messages that are held for review, they know. Oh, see, you see all the reviews, all those messages. Welcome to being a moderator, and thanks again for doing that. That's not me, but I do love those the mowing videos. Those are cool. Like, those are just cool. If you've never watched them, you should. They're just like, I love watching the house, the like the entire lawn transform. I think it's more fair to make sure that we say that they didn't. I never said that they did it on purpose. But do you think it's fair to say that those 150 people, those 150 children would not be dead if Donald Trump had not declared war or had not ordered the military to drop those bombs? I got rid of that guy. Oh, you got rid of the one dude that was saying the stupid stuff? Kitty's got claws. Midlife Stockham. Back in back pre-Trump, when the president showed respect for people who didn't vote for him, it was so funny because he like gave his little he gave his State of the Union or his inaugural address, and he talked about white supremacists being bad. And he never said Republicans are white supremacists. In the entire thing, he never once said that Trump supporters were white supremacists. He never said that Republicans were white supremacists or conservatives were white supremacists. But then all the white supremacists got all upset and said, why is he saying Republicans are white supremacists? And it's like, you're just telling on yourself, dude. If you get offended that somebody says white supremacists are bad, then you're a white supremacist. And if the Republican Party weren't the party of white supremacy, then the Republicans would have agreed with him. Where was the Republican leadership saying, yeah, that's right, white supremacy has no place in this party? Never once heard a single elected Republican say white supremacy has no place in our party. Never heard Donald Trump say that. Hopefully they'll hire qualified people for positions instead of the social media influencers. I'm sick of the pop. Yeah, we know that's not going to happen. As much as we like it to, we definitely know that the last thing that Donald Trump is going to do is appoint somebody to a job that knows how to do it. They will put it the way they want. Well, that's fair. I mean, but that's kind of what that's what elected officials should do, right? Like, do what they ran on. Oh, so Brett says hi. Kitty and Brett, I think you guys missed each other yesterday. A stupid person would call that body of water that they knew all their lives and called it the Gulf of America. Where were you stationed at, Kelly? I was stationed. I was in for 4.5 years. I extended 6 months so I could go to Europe. But I spent my first 2 years in Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas. And then I spent the rest of my time in San Vito Air Station, Italy, which is near Bari and Brindisi. And it was awesome. A stupid person would dismiss what Trump says about the military service of John McCain. And a stupid person would dismiss what Trump says. No, I think an intelligent person would dismiss what Trump says about the service of John McCain and Robert Mueller. A stupid person would say what Trump said about the military service of John McCain and Robert Mueller. Mueller got a Bronze Star with Flower and Purple Heart, but the sitting rapist, supremacist, convicted felon, trash, cosplay press corps, a diaper on golf courses says glad he's dead. That's your guy? Yeah, I'm talking about. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Trying to keep track of different conversations. I hope I misread that because that's just complete Chinese disinformation. Yes. Hey Mo, how you doing? Okay, so you said it wrong. You're right. Okay, good. Because I was gonna say, boy. Yes, it's fair to say that those children dies because we went to war with Iran. And honestly, that's just one of the many, many, many reasons that we should not be going to war because the president of the United States got a wild hair up his butt. I think I misread that because looking through his chat history, he seems to be against Trump. I think he misstated it, but anyway, we're all clear that Bob Mueller and John McCain are war heroes, not war zeros like Donald Trump is. Play, think, whatever Donald says, it's good or bad, you're not going to like it anyway. Hey, if Donald Trump ever said something good, I'd give him credit for it. I give him credit for Operation Warp Speed, which, as far as I can tell, in the entire time he's been president, between his first term and now, is the only good thing he's done. If you can tell me something good he's done other than that, then I'll let you know. But Operation Warp Speed was good. I came out swinging. I hate this chat thing. Sorry, dude. So no worries, Brett. He said it wrong. Okay. Get lots of words. My words wrong. I get my words wrong too. I think that they need to take away POTUS' right to pardon people. Too much abuse. I think about this when they were sitting there making their cases before the Supreme Court about whether or not the president has immunity for official acts. And one of the justices asked rhetorically, so you're saying that if the president decided to sell pardons, that would be an official act? And Sauer's like, yes, that would be an official act. And then Donald Trump's like, hey, if I get back in office, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell pardons. It's hard to see the chat with the chat repeating behind it a second time in vertical. So it's not like off to the side or something. It's here. All right, I'm going to do this for you, Brett. I don't know how to. If there's any way to adjust this, but I'm going to look at it on my phone right now and see what you're talking about. I don't know how to change it. Okay. See if I can figure out how to open this thing. Is this the right now? Okay. Hmm. Oh, here we go. Is that me? Okay, so here we go. Okay. So let me see something here. My phone is set up different than yours, I think. Unless. Oh, here we go. Is that me? So. Okay, so here we go. Okay. All right. So all right. Let me see something here. My phone is set up different. So mine has the scrolling chat in a separate thing, in a separate portion. So I don't know what you're seeing. But it might be your phone settings or something. I don't know. I don't know how to change that, Brett. I gotta close some windows here. All right. Oh, let me try this again then. Okay, so different than yours, I think. Unless. Oh, here we go. Is that me? So,
props. We love them. You can give us props by liking and subscribing to this video.
Boy, I'm really having a hard time right now.
Here we go. Is that me?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm showing yours. I'm showing yours in a separate window. Like mine, it's in the little window where my face is, and then the chat is in a separate window. Well, not a separate window, but it's off to the side or down. But like if I do it in profile, then it's off to the right. If I do it in vertical, the chat is below. But the chat that I display is just on my window. Sorry. Whoa. So some other stuff is going on. There is, what a nutty day from a nutty president. So there's some rumors that Kash Patel's getting fired. Oh, China successfully hacked the FBI and had access to court-authorized surveillance orders, putting the PRC in the position to detect investigations into its own espionage activity. Rumors swirl that Donald Trump may fire FBI Director Kash Patel soon. And then there's something else here about Pete Hegseth. Kitty sent me a message saying, breaking, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has asked Chief of Staff General Randy George to step down and take immediate retirement. Why, I don't know. Maybe he just because somebody needs to take the fall for Iran. So Jennifer Jacobs is CBS. Pete Hegseth has asked Army Chief of Staff General Randy George to step down and take immediate retirement. One of the sources says he wants someone in the role who will implement Trump and Hegseth's vision for the Army, whatever that means. The Vice Chief of Staff of the Army, General Christopher Levine, who was formerly Hegseth's military aide, will likely be considered as a replacement. This is unrelated to the helicopter flyby at Kid Rock's home, I told. They'll just replace Patel with somebody more inept. And it's like, at what point do you just get, like, you can't get more inept? Trump thinks China and Russia are his buddies. They laugh at him. This war in Iran is in the... what kind of lawnmower do I have? I have, like, a little red riding lawnmower. I got it from Home Depot. It was like their cheapest riding lawnmower. I only have a third of an acre, so I don't need a big one. They started the war to preemptively deplete American missile and assets in the Middle East so they aren't taken by enemies when we have to leave the area. Oh, so Brett's got a service. Rich boy with the lawn service. No, I'm just kidding. So I've got some videos I haven't showed yet. Let's start with the NATO one. I have a video of we'll start with NATO. And Donald Trump's very, very bizarre view of what NATO is, why NATO is, and just like the notion that NATO is supposed to come to our defense anytime we declare war on somebody. So here's that.
NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, is a military alliance formed in 1949, right after World War II. Its original purpose was simple: prevent another major war in Europe and counter the growing influence of the Soviet Union during the Cold War. At its core, NATO is a collective defense pact. The key idea is in something called Article 5. If one member is attacked, it's considered an attack on all. But here's where people often misunderstand it. Article 5 does not mean every NATO country is automatically required to go to war. The actual language says each country will take such action as it deems necessary, which could include military force, but doesn't have to. That means countries can choose their response: troops, weapons, intelligence support, or even just political backing. There are two more important limits. First, Article 5 only applies if a NATO member is attacked, not if that member starts a war. Second, invoking it requires agreement among all NATO members. It's a political decision, not an automatic trigger. So if the United States is engaged in a war with Iran that it initiated, NATO is not obligated to join. There's no automatic everyone jumps in clause. In fact, Article 5 has only been invoked once, in response to the September 11 attacks on the U.S. Bottom line, NATO is a defensive alliance, not a blank check for offensive wars, and that distinction matters a lot when people talk about whether NATO will get involved.
So thoughts? Anybody have any thoughts on that? I've heard some like really stupid things come out of the White House recently connected to this whole thing. But this one, the stupidest thing. Hang on a second here. I've got to grab something. The stupidest thing I've heard is this notion that came from Jesse Waters, which Jesse Waters has said some pretty stupid things. But of all the stupid things he said, this one ranks up high. He said that we rescue NATO after World War I and World War II. Or during World War I and World War II. Which, all right, first of all, NATO did not exist after World War II, or until after World War II. So it didn't during World War I and during World War II, there was no NATO to rescue. Secondly, and this is equally stupid, if not even more stupid, the member nations of NATO were at war with one another, right? It is not that we were at war with NATO, or that we came to save NATO from whom, I don't know. But like the last I checked, Germany was on one side of both of those wars, and like the UK and France were on the other side of both of those wars. And all three of those countries are in NATO now. So anyway, there is a lot of stupid in the White House right now. And there's a lot of stupid on Fox News. And again, stupid when I say stupid, I mean deliberately refusing to learn. Okay, America is shifting focus to the Western Hemisphere. Yeah, what he wants to do, what Trump wants to do, is he just wants to make the entire Western Hemisphere under his control. That's what he wants to do. He's not even making any. That's what the Don Roe doctrine is, right? It's just saying that the United States has unilateral control over every country in the Western Hemisphere. LOL. Rich boy. No, the maintenance guy does it. Oh, he's got a maintenance guy. No, I'm just kidding. Don't worry. Trump is screwing our allies whenever there's an opportunity. Trump is screwing anybody. He screws, well, better not say that, get myself in trouble. Oh, I wonder if the kitty's got a point. I wonder if this general that was asked to step down was given illegal orders and refused to do them. I mean, this is last night. Remember, Donald Trump threatened Iran with war crimes, right? Like, we're going to bomb them into the Stone Age. We're going to bomb their, electricity and their water plants, which, like, that's going to kill, like, hundreds of thousands of innocent Iranians. If they don't have water, you kind of need water. So he wants to bomb the water desalinization plants. That's an outright war crime. And so then today, the Secretary of the Army refuses, is asked to resign. I seem to remember another general that refused to follow illegal orders and was asked to resign at the same day. So Yeah, I think that's a really good point, Kitty. I think that um he was probably um he was probably told to follow to do something illegal and refused, and so now he's getting axed. Kitty says they are actively discussing the use of nuclear weapons. Well, if that's true, that's incredibly troubling. Um, America, okay. Brett says NATO is the only thing keeping Russia at bay. Been seeing a strong uptick in propagandists pushing the narrative NATO bad. Yeah. And so all of a sudden, like the right wing has just decided that NATO is bad for some reason. How come I can't see all the comments? I don't know. I don't know which comments you can and can't see. Brett wonders if it's because you blocked certain people. Oh, no, just kidding. Click top right and select all messages, not top messages. So there you go. We've got Brett is a pro when it comes to handling the YouTube end of things. Probably Kelly will have to tell you if I'm blocked. LOL. YouTube always defaults at the top comments instead of all comments. Me either. So probably the same thing. So yeah, there's that. Gary says he didn't block anybody. Kind of like that's what hang on, who was it? It's what the Tennessee Titans offensive line said last year. I didn't block anybody. Get it? If you don't watch football, you probably don't get it. The Titans gave up a lot of sacks last year. The right has a media tunnel vision and they are easily manipulated. They are. I mean, when the pivot to getting behind the war after arguing no new wars and even arguing Kamala Harris is going to bring us into a war with Iran. And now they're defending the war with Iran. I love it when a community comes together. Brett helping Gary. Gary thanking Brett for his help. This is the kind of channel I like to cultivate. YouTube has been heavily suppressing lately, very heavily, with even big streamers. I don't have a healthy enough prostate to be a big streamer yet. Bending the knee to Orange Boy. All right, so got enough. Kitty liked my prostate joke. Get it? Because big stream. Anyway, every once in a while, I have one that's worthwhile. Also, I think I don't think I'm even on a horizontal channel now. I have to. Now we're going into a Ghostbusters thing. But there is you want to hear something goofy? So like me and my two brothers, I have two brothers that I grew up with. Um I have two half brothers that are quite a bit younger, but my two brothers that are the same age. One, I say I'm a median child because one is 16 months and 21 days older than me, and one is 16 months and 21 days younger than me. So I'm like the exact same age difference between my older brother and my young brother. And we used to like go on road trips and stuff. And back in the day, like back in the 70s, you didn't have these big, huge, fancy truck stops and stuff. You'd stop at this, like little gas station that would have one gas station or one bathroom, like one toilet. And sometimes we all three had to pee really, really bad. We all had to go number one really bad. And so we used to just, like we're like 5, 6, and 7. And we'd go and we just all pee in the toilet at the same time. And so if there was one of us, we called it airplane. If there were if there was one of us, we called it rocket ship. If there was two of us, we called it airplane. And if there were three of us, we called it helicopter because the streams crossing and everything. So anyway, there's a story you didn't need to hear, but that's my best cross the stream story. Brett. Oh, Ghostbusters. It's the tech oligarchs and their backdoor deals. I watched 10 minutes of the... Oh, you watched 10 minutes of the Melania movie? It was the most worthless 70. How did you manage to get through 10 minutes of the Melania movie? I don't even think that Melania could get through 10 minutes of the Melania movie. Translate settings on... Yeah, the Melania movie. Yeah, yeah, it's Melania. But I know what you meant. Remember the documentary on Melania, Brett? That's what he's talking about. $75 million. And you know that Jeff Bezos was not spending that money because he thought he had some sort of winner thing going on. And I remember, like, with that movie, they were talking about, oh, it's the biggest selling documentary in 10 years or something. And it's like, number one, they spent like 10 times as much on advertising it as they got in ticket sales. And number two, they bought most of the tickets. Like people, like this theater would be sold out. And so like a reporter went to the theater and there were like 3 people in it. No, he was buying privileges in the government. Oh, I'm sure he was. What I think I can't remember. There's probably some kind of deal somewhere that needs the government approval. I've never seen. I see comments behind. Yeah, I still don't know what that means because I even tried looking on it on my phone, and I don't. Comments behind the here. I'll see if this. So this is what I see on mine. Is I see the approval, like the. I've never seen. So I see like the displayed comment right there, and then the rest of the chat down there. So I don't know how to address what you guys are saying. I mean, I'm not doubting that you see what you see, but I don't know how to fix it. No, I meant to watch it. You have to have the translations on because they're butchering it. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't know because I wouldn't have even tried to watch it, but I do understand what you're saying. And like, what does she say when she doesn't have Michelle Obama to plagiarize? I am chat challenged. So am I. Somalian refugees have better speaking skills than her. Yeah. Um, uh, uh, that reminds me, there was some. Donald Trump is after what's her name again? Ilhan Omar. He said a bunch of racist crap about her yesterday at the prayer breakfast or whatever it was. Like, just these people have made their version of Christianity this white supremacist crap. I don't know, what everybody's religions are, but do not evaluate the Christian faith by the right wing. I will just say this. There's verses in the Bible where Jesus tells people, didn't, that there will be in the judgment day, people will come to him and say, didn't we cast out demons in your name and do these things in your name? And Jesus will tell them, be gone from me, I never knew you. There are hypocrites, and hypocrites do more damage to Christianity than all the Muslims in the world or whatever. Don't want to get into a big theological discussion, but there is literally, according to the Bible, a special place in hell for the hypocrites, for the right-wing nut jobs that sit there and use the Christian faith to shill their hatred. I have more trouble defending my Christian faith to fellow liberals than defending being a liberal to fellow Christians. By that, I mean, in my conscience, I can't sit there and I don't have any problems defending what my liberal friends believe to Christians, but to defend just evil to non-Christians, I can't do that. I can't sit there and go, yeah, you're right. Gary says he'll get it figured out the chat. I can understand her well enough. Yeah, I mean, it's like, doesn't matter if you can understand her. She comes, I mean, like, the Charlie Brown is about all I hear, even if it were in perfect English. She has nothing to say that's important. But she got an Einstein visa, right? We don't see it like that. We see a full screen face, and the chat is superimposed over the picture. Oh man, I'm really sorry about that. Oh, what if I do this? Ah, I see. I see what's going on. Man, nobody needs to see my full. So try this, Brett. I've got, see this? So like if I go right here, I think that's what you're saying. But if you look over here at this double arrow thing, if you hit that, then you'll get that. Try hitting that double arrow thing and see if that helps. I would like to know if there's any validity to the claims against Omar. Okay. There is not. And there's actually been many fact checks on this, but I'll just run this down to you to give you what the basic facts are. When she was a child, she came over here as an asylum seeker. She was a refugee, or not as a refugee. and she was in this refugee camp, and she came over here with her family. Now there's like a bunch of confusion with names and stuff like that, but the accusation against her is that she came over here and then brought her brother over here as her husband and married him so that he could come over here legally. Number one, the person is not that she married was not her brother. There was just some right wing, and I don't mean right wing like Fox News right wing. I mean like a deliberate disinformation silo shilled out this nonsense that he was her brother. He's not. And the accusation just won't go away, even though it's just been debunked over and over and over again. But number two, the guy is from England. He has a British. I mean, he's got a British passport. He wouldn't need her to bring him over here. He could and she didn't bring him over here. Like his path to citizenship or to coming over here has nothing to do with her. He just got married to her and then divorced, and then she remarried her first husband. I don't want to argue about it. I just want to hear what you think about it. Yeah, there's let me see here. Okay, so what I'm going to do for you, Gary, is hang on. Okay. I'm going to drop this chat. I actually have a I have a YouTube short I did on that. I'm going to see if I can. Seeing how if I can. All right, you know what I'm going to try and do? I'm going to try and do this.
The claim that Representative Ilhan Omar married her brother. Let's address one of the most persistent lies in American politics. The claim that Representative Ilhan Omar married her brother. This is false. It's been investigated, debunked, and dismissed repeatedly. Yet Donald Trump is still repeating it. Here's what actually happened. The conspiracy theory emerged during Omar's first congressional campaign, originating from right-wing blogs with zero credible evidence. The claim alleges she married Ahmed Nursaid Elmi in 2009 to commit immigration fraud. Here are the facts. Omar was born in Somalia and fled the civil war as a child. She spent 4 years in a Kenyan refugee camp before coming to the United States as a refugee in 1995. She was just 12 years old. She became a citizen in 2000. Now here's the key point. U.S. citizens can sponsor siblings for immigration through legal family petitions. So if Elmi were actually her brother, Omar could have simply sponsored him directly once she became a citizen. No marriage needed. marriage to a sibling would be both illegal under incest laws and completely unnecessary. Omar married Ahmed Hirsi in an Islamic ceremony in 2002. They had 2 children, but separated in 2008. In 2009, she legally married Ahmed Elmi. They divorced in 2017. She remarried Hirsi in 2018. Omar has stated that her 2009 marriage was a personal mistake made during a difficult period. Conservative activists claimed Elmi was her brother based on speculation about shared last names and social media photos. But Somali naming conventions are complex. People often share names without being related. A Minnesota campaign finance investigation examined these allegations thoroughly and found no evidence of wrongdoing related to the marriage claims. The probe was closed. This conspiracy theory persists because it combines Islamophobia, xenophobia, and misogyny into one convenient package. It's designed to delegitimize Omar as both a Muslim woman and an immigrant. When evaluating extraordinary claims, demand extraordinary evidence. In this case, after years of investigation, that evidence doesn't exist. The claim that Ilhan Omar married her brother is a lie, full stop. Let's address one of the most persistent lies in American politics. The claim that Representative Ilhan Omar married her brother. This is false. It's been investigated, debunked, and dismissed repeatedly.
All right. So, I don't know if that helped, Gary, but that is, I got so tired of people talking about that. I made a video about it. That was the video. But yeah, there's absolutely nothing whatsoever to it. Here's the truth about what she's guilty of. She's guilty of being a black woman that doesn't like Donald Trump. Yeah, like Brett said, it is a complete and total lie. And it's an evil, disgusting lie. And made because people will believe it. Tasteless to say racist poop during a prayer. Exactly. It was just so revolting. So revolting. Jerry Falwell syndrome. I'm on the vertical. It's more interactive and works better in the phone. She did not get rich off of that. So that's her husband is Tim Minette, and he is a co-owner of something called Rose Capital and a California winery. They are not his own, like they don't own him. He does not own them by himself, but he is a co-owner, and they dishonestly attach all the wealth to those 2 companies to her, even though it's to her husband, and not all of the wealth in those companies belongs to him. So it has absolutely nothing to do with her being a congressperson. And it's against the law for, like There are laws against anything, but she has been investigated by Republicans over and over again, and they have not found anything. So, I mean, I thought we were innocent until proven guilty here. There is absolutely no evidence that she has done anything unethical. They have insider information. There's no evidence that Omar has benefited from insider information. 30 million is a lot of information. Yeah, and that's also not all her money. And so, and when you start hearing these when you start hearing multiple accusations about one person, that you've got to take the $30 million charge in conjunction with the fake lies about her marrying her brother. Like, at a certain point, when do you start making people that make those accusations and make those smears prove what they're saying? There's no evidence that she's worth $30 million. There's just charges that she is. And these are the same people that said that she married her brother. So maybe the $30 million is a lie. It's easy to do if you have the drop on things. Trying to not say something that's going to get me banned. Let me know if you can't hear. Oh, that was me. That was when I was playing the thing. 30 million in 2 years even beats Pelosi's record. What? Pelosi didn't do anything. There's no evidence Pelosi ever did anything illegal either. Why is it you're focusing on the Democrats and not the Republicans that have made millions off of being in the House? But for the record, Pelosi, there's no evidence that she did anything wrong. She should sue Trump for saying that. I mean, she has a clear case. Trump sues people because he gets butthurt about minor crap. Trump gets upset and sues people for saying the truth. He is an adjudicated rapist. He is. That is a fact. A jury found that he sexually assaulted a woman in a manner that can be colloquially described as rape. There's the legal definition of rape in New York, which says that it has to be penetration from a penis. But there's also the colloquial phrasing of the word rape, which means, anything that penetrates. And it was adjudicated. He didn't say she was found guilty. Adjudicated just means a jury found it, and a jury found that he sexually assaulted a woman. He is an adjudicated rapist. Truth is kind of the indispensable factor when it comes to libel rapes or libel charges. If somebody says something true, you can't sue them for libel. 20 trillion wrapped up in court for years would blow his mind. The new Google Gemini version of Pixel phones is awesome. Real-time phone-like conversations, very attuned. Yeah, I've been bouncing between AIs, trying to figure out which one I like. Google Gemini, the latest version is pretty cool. I'm not anti-AI like some people are. I think that we need to regulate AI better, but I think that it's not going away anyway. But Elon Musk has floated the idea. Now, this is something I could get behind if there's a way to make it work. But have AI like AI, what do you call them? AI farms out in space, like where A, you wouldn't have to worry about cooling because, it's out in space, and B, you would have like unlimited energy because you could have the solar, unlimited solar capacity. And then, you could go places from there. And so just send out some AI farms or whatever they're called and send them into space into this, like space satellites or space station or something like that. Then I could see it, like AI being a big help because you wouldn't have to worry about the two biggest things: the power it consumes and the water it uses. Should not be in charge. I don't know who. Oh, cool. So Kitty has a link here to Congress trading tracker. Kitty, I'm telling you guys, Kitty is the smartest person on this show. I learned something from Kitty every single day. I can't make it show up here. Can you drop me that link in my chat and in the private chat here, Kitty, so I can open up? That is cool. You'll notice that resistance kitty directory.com. That's Resistance Kitty's own website, which is awesome, and you should bookmark that. I believe that Islam is not a religion of peace. Okay, I'm going to try to say this to where I don't offend you, but I don't care what you believe about Islam and whether it's a religion of peace or not, because it can be. Christianity can be. And so can, atheists. Hitler was an atheist. Lenin and Stalin were atheists. Like, it doesn't matter. People have used their beliefs about God or their belief in God to kill people, whether it's Muslim or whether it's Christian or whether it's no God and atheism. I don't care. People use God or lack of God to justify their own evil. Okay. So this is cool. I'm going to open this up. So this is, she's got this trading tractor, Quiver Point Congress trading tracker. Here, let me. So this is what I'm talking. This is the Quiver Quarantine Congress Trading Tracker is a powerful transparency tool that allows users to monitor stock trading activity by members of the U.S. Congress in near real time. So you open up here. You gotta. Okay. So. Okay, so let's see. Ilhan Omar. No trades found. Net worth 18 million. Looks like most of that. She made a bunch of money in 2024 somehow. But it was not through trading because there are no trades here. So anyway. She hasn't gotten like unusual amounts of money contributed. Anyway. I think that speaks for itself. She hasn't made any money off the stock market. So kind of hard to make money off of insider trading when you're not actually trading any money. So Omar is totally innocent of anything. And so Gary says, so Omar is totally innocent of anything, and so is Pelosi. Thank you, Kelly. Well, no, they're just innocent of what you accused them of and what the right wing accused them of. There is no evidence that either one of them has done any insider trading, and there is no evidence that Ilhan Omar married her brother. So does that mean that neither one has ever done anything wrong? No, but it means that the things that the right wing accuses them of doing, they did not do. And the last time I checked, you don't just like get to broadly smear people. And then once it turns out that the thing that they were accused of, they didn't do, then you're just like, oh no, that means they didn't do anything at all wrong. Everybody's done something wrong. You have no jaw under that beard. You should consider. Oh, well, you should consider going to another channel because you're blocked from this one. Okay. Did I skip your comment? See, this is what I mean. You skip one comment and people get all. I'm sorry, I didn't see your comment, dude. So skips my comment. Totally about phones. Oy vey. Sorry, I didn't see your comment, Porgy. I don't know what comment I skipped. So, okay, so I'm scrolling back up and I do not see any oy vey comment. So, I'm sorry, dude. If you leave it again, I'll try not to skip it this time. Porgy, sorry. Nobody cares what you think. Well, okay. Nobody's making you be here. Do you think that people who believe in Christianity shouldn't be in charge of such things either? I think that, I think that people should be in charge of such things that, I don't know. I don't think that religion should be a part of what is factored into what people are in charge of, unless it's like a church. Like I agree to run the church, you should be like a Christian, or to run a mosque, you should be a Muslim, like that kind of thing. Like the things about the religion, obviously. I shadow banned and reported those too. Yeah, I deleted, I banned. I completely banned the guy with the suicide comment. It matters to me. It doesn't have to matter to you or to anybody. But why? Okay, can I be honest with you here, Gary? Why does it matter to you? Like this is what they do. Is now you will always have these negative ideas and notions about Ilhan Omar based completely on lies. So rather than have a bad taste for the people that lied about Omar, you have a bad taste about Omar. What there must be something to what they're saying. Like the evil people, that's the logic, that's the thought process that goes behind it. But what you're doing is now you're making her guilty of something she didn't do, and you're making the people that accused her and lied about her, you're giving them more validity than her. So yeah, if what should matter to you is the truth. And the truth matters to me too. Why is it only Democrats that you're bringing up that, make up all this money from insider trading? Lauren Boebert has made bank. I don't see you bringing up her. I see you bringing up people that haven't even ever traded in the stock market. Why can't why can't Islamic people hold office in America, Gary? Do you believe the First Amendment is there or not? Like, do you think that freedom of religion actually has a place in America? And if so like, why is it that a Muslim shouldn't be allowed to have a place, but somebody like Donald Trump, who's not even a real Christian, by the way, but uses Christianity to justify starting a fake war, starting a real war on a fake premise. Like, people are dead in Iran because of Donald Trump right now. And this is all under the pretext that they're the ones that are dangerous. You know what? We have bombed Iran many, many times. This is not the first time we bombed Iran. Guess how many times Iran has dropped bombs on the United States? None. We have killed more Iranians than Iranians have killed us. It takes a lot to accept and move on from your bigoted indoctrinal beliefs, Gary. The best person for this job is not determined by their religion. I think there are good Christians and I think there are bad Christians. I think there are good Muslims and there are bad Muslims. I think there are good atheists and there are bad atheists. I think there's good Jewish people and I think there are bad Jewish people. I think we should evaluate people based on their actions and not their religious beliefs. I don't even understand why anybody would possibly conceive of anything else. There's a difference between Muslim and Sharia law. There's different sects of Christianity as well. That's like comparing right-wing hate speech. Even when they talk about Sharia law is... it's a broad thing. Like, Sharia law can include ceremonies, like marriage ceremonies. I mean, it's like equating all Jews with what are they? The hardcore ones that starts with H. I forget what they're called. Not every Muslim is like a right-wing nut job. Just like not every Christian is a right-wing nut job. But it is funny that if you just take the actual religion out of it and you look at what the people that like endorse Sharia law versus like a lot of right-wing nut job Christians, the only difference is the religion. Like, neither one of them thinks that, you should be allowed to get married if you're gay, or think trans people should be allowed to exist, or thinks that, women should have rights to, exist apart from her own husband. Let's mow. You do that. Let's mow. Mow. Why do people always blanket accuse Muslim religion? Because they don't know what they're talking about. Expand your personal beliefs. take new knowledge and adjust your beliefs to be in accordance with reality. Don't dismiss new information because it doesn't align with your core personal beliefs. Realign your core personal beliefs. Enlarge yourself as a person, as a human being. Expand your mind. Sunni, Shia, Ibadi. Okay. That I don't even know what all of those are. Okay, we got a chat here from. So the general resigned. That didn't take long. Guess he didn't want a war crime. So how much longer now before there's war crimes? Probably not much. Uh-oh. Brett's getting mad. I've never seen a mad face from Brett before. I wonder. Moving on is like backpedaling. That box was opened. The separation of church and state is a good idea. Like the right-wing church pastor. That was an ICE supporter. Then why are you bringing it up? Like, honestly, Gary, if you were wondering about this, you said you just wanted to know what I thought. Did you ever Google it? Did you ever read a fact check article on it? Have you ever tried to actually find out before you brought it up to me? Or did you just regurgitate ugly things you had heard and accepted on some level without ever challenging the accusation? But you defend every accusation against Trump, even when it's true. And I know you're not a Trump supporter, but you defend Trump against reality, and then you bring up these smears against Omar for no reason at all, without even bothering to find out if they're true or not. I think some Democrats are bad leaders. I think some Democrats are good leaders. They finally got rid of her. Okay, so now that Kitty's on here. Oh, now Kitty's gone again. All right. So my Bondi joke is, how is Pam Bondi like a baseball player? She's out of there. So Gary is a card-carrying Klan member for sure. I don't think Gary's a Klan member. Gary is I will give him, he's one of my most consistent viewers. He's here every day, and he seems like a nice enough person. I like Gary as a person. I don't think he's a bad person. But I really wish you would really challenge your own personal viewpoint more, Gary, and just say, okay, if this is real, can you agree with me that if somebody spreads lies about somebody marrying their own brother so that they can come over here illegally, that's an evil thing to accuse somebody of when it's not true? And so therefore, if it's not true, the people who made those claims are evil? If you're making evil claims about people and they're not true, then that makes you evil, right? And if people are making evil claims about her, why would you believe other claims they make about her? And do you have a responsibility when you hear these evil claims to even do a 30-second check to see if they're true before you repeat them? Anyone in Congress who makes money illegally or by lobbying or by having insider information should be jailed. I don't think anybody disagrees with that. But you're not saying that. You are saying that Ilhan Omar made $30 million off of insider trading when there's no evidence that she's ever even made a trade at all. You're not saying, if you just want to say insider trading from Congress people is wrong, then that's fine. I agree with you. But that's not what you're saying. What you're saying is that Ilhan Omar is making all of this money, and she is your illustration. And then Nancy Pelosi is your illustration for that. And neither one has ever even been charged. There's bad Christian religions. Look at all those Nazis praying to the Republican Jesus in Midwestern states. It offends me as an American, and it offends me as a Christian. I don't think anybody who believes in religious fairy tales should be allowed to rule. Well, as long as they don't use their religious fairy tales. People that don't believe in religious fairy tales aren't exactly above the, criticism either. Look at Stalin. Look at Putin. Like plenty of atheists have murdered lots of people too. I think that people, like decent people, should rule. I don't think it should have anything at all to do with their religion or lack of it. Every Republican in the last 50 years has started multiple wars in the Middle East. I won't talk you out of what? I see. I'm not trying to talk you out of anything or out of your personal belief. I'm trying to ask you to consider actual new information that may cause you to develop your personal beliefs. You can't talk religious clan members out of their beliefs. They're totally brainwashed. I think your bread is commenting. I cannot see what he is saying. Oh, you think Brett is commenting. If you equate one religion with the type of behavior, you have to do it with all the rest and are obligated to research how many people have died for the Inquisition. The Christians have killed more Christians than Muslims have. Christians have also killed more Jews than Muslims have. Christians have killed a lot of people. I mean, when you start looking at, first of all, just the Christians that they killed in Europe, then, all the Native Americans they wiped out, and both North and South America. Everybody that was living, they just wiped out like 95% of the indigenous population. And they did a lot of it deliberately. They did germ warfare. They did a lot of evil stuff. A lot of so-called Christians have killed a lot of people in the pretext of trying to make people Christian. None of that has anything to do with the Bible, by the way. Gary, are your personal beliefs ever wrong? It's a good question. It's pronounced Sharia. Okay. I've always wondered about that. Sharia law. Okay. Either way, whatever, it doesn't change the reality that Sharia law is not like the boogeyman that right-wingers try to make it out to be. There's like extreme interpretations of it. But it's funny, like people are like sitting there going, Mamdani, oh, he's going to bring Sharia law to New York City, and it's like he's a Muslim extremist, communist. It's like you realize that Muslim extremists and Marxists are like mutually exclusive things, right? Like when they're the ones, the Muslim extremists are the anti-gay ones. They're the ones that are anti-trans. Mamdani wants gay rights. He's for trans rights. He he is the opposite of what you would like to present him as. Not you, Matt, or M-Twab. I don't know what that is. Anyway, not you, but it's my belief and I'm entitled to it. You guys settle down and let's move on. You want us to move on after you just flamed? Seriously? The vast majority of evil actions by the government in the last 15 years. I agree with that. I think that, but I'm not just talking about the U.S. government. I'm talking about all governments throughout all history. That there is a whether people claim to be God like the pharaohs did, or whether they were gods designated like the kings and queens were, or whether they're just, God sent the way that Donald Trump is allegedly, or what they were godless. There are all kinds of people that have used and killed in the name of religion. Lenin killed people for having one at all. So did Stalin. So did Mao. So atheists have killed a lot of people too. Atheists are not above this. So Gary can't see Brett's chats. Gary wants to be a bigot, but doesn't want to be called one. This is why I mentioned talking to Gemini. No, I didn't, Kelly. I just figured that you would know something about it because, yeah, I am a student into these things, but I'm just wondering why you didn't research it yourself first. Like, just as a human being, like, why not just look these things up and find out if they're true before you repeat them? I'm just really disappointed. I thought he was open-minded. Well, we've only known Gary for a few minutes, and we all recognize exactly who he is. He is who Fox News wants him to be. Gary is on the show like a lot, or like he watches. He's a daily visitor, so I think there is hope for Gary. Like you just gotta, ask the right questions. And so right now, my question for you, Gary, is why didn't you research the Ilhan Omar thing before you repeated it? Hopefully he educates himself and redeems. I do see promise in him. I was relying on me because you seem like you know most. But, you can still do a Google search. It only takes 30 seconds. And I mean, this is like years old now. So I don't rag on you, Gary. I really don't. I actually say more nice things about you than probably anybody that comments a lot. When you leave the channel for a second, you have to reselect all messages again. YouTube will always default to top comments. What? That's annoying. My name stands for Make the World a Better Place for the Next Generation. Feel free to question my morals as much as you. Make the world a better. I like that. It's a good name. I'm just going to refer to you as Better Place. It's easier. I think that catches the... so Better Place says the only thing that's evil is making the world the worst place for future generations. I agree with that. I think that we have to look at it's always funny because the Republicans always want to, oh, well, we're going to leave our children in debt. And it's like, you've already left your children in debt. The debt, who do you think you're going to pay for it, boomer? You've already left your children in debt, and your grandchildren and their children. But now you're going to leave them with a planet that's not viable anymore. You're going to leave them having to retire at 75 so that you can, like, blow people up in Iran. Of course, if you... Okay. So if making up stuff about people is wrong, Gary, then why would you take their word? The people that are making stuff up about people, why would you take their word for anything? Like, why would you give them any credibility at all? Who says that Omar made $30 million? Because that should be a big question for you. Because a lot of the same people that are saying she's made $30 million, which is inaccurate and untrue, are also the people that are saying that she married her brother. I think the media should implement an evidence leveling system, how they do evidence-based practice, and hold them accountable for lying to vulnerable people like Gary. I think that they need to implement a system like this. I'll ask you what you think. But I think, like, let's say that you say something in a TV commercial about your political opponent and it's untrue. Then what I think is you should have like a board, an independent board, bipartisan, a board that evaluates whether or not it's true or not. And if they decide that you said something that's not true about your political opponent, then you have to spend twice the ad money in the same time slots saying that you lied about it. Like, not just correcting this record or something, but admitting that you lied about it and what the truth is. And I don't think that, you'd have to worry about a lot of what ifs with that. I think just the fact that that is there, it would be enough of a cattle prod to keep people from doing it very often. Like, just if you're going to spend a bunch of money lying about somebody, then you should have to spend twice as much money telling the truth about somebody. I forgot. MAGA, my man, that insider bet at Pawn Market that is overseen by Don Jr. And a major investor just placed another large bet that boots would be on the ground. What was there was one of Barron's buddy lost a bunch of money in the stock market, and he was very, very upset and angry. It's like, what's going on? How come we have to do this? And it's like, well, because you endorsed him, you troll. How is the Dow Jones doing today? I haven't checked. Oh, it went down. We're back down to 46,504. Was down more. I guess Pam Bondi's not excited about the stock market anymore. Oh my gosh, the personal beliefs thing is going to end all. But basic respect is non-negotiable. This girl at my school, which I have to go to even though I have my credits done, she's disrespectful. MAGA, my man, is the same screen name at the Pawn Market that placed a $500,000 bet 71 minutes prior to Iran was beginning. Clearly insider trading. And now he did it again. Take a guess who it is. MAGA, my man. Who is MAGA, my man? Is it does their name end in Trump? Oh, so he opened up a brand new account just to make those bets too. Yeah, but I could have told you we were going to have boots on the ground a week ago. Pam Bondi, no more legally blonde cosplayer. Oh my goodness. And now Cash Patel, Pam Bondi. Oh, here's a joke for you. I just thought of this one. Christy Noem Cash Patel and Pam Bondi walk into a bar. Bartender looks at him and says, "Sorry, we're not hiring right now." Boom! Get it. Not many people know, but probably the worst of the worst abuse towards Native Americans was in Oregon. All religious law results in the same stuff, nothing good. If we follow the Bible, well, as slaves and women won't have rights. When I was a child in Florida, there was this black guy waiting in line to buy food at a roadside shack. White person after white person kept jumping in front of him. Nobody said anything. I had to. It's just decency. Like, why would people think that was okay? Man. We now have definitive proof not only of how the pyramids were built, and I can tell you if you like to know, but also why they were built. It was a religious practice. It was not done by slaves. I think they had some kind of engineering stuff going on. Bad time for MAGA women lately. Trump dubs and abused his loyal followers. MTG, Bondi, Noam, etc. And Cash Patel. See what I did there? Even nice people didn't say anything. Why? Are they that afraid? Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's actually, like, they do experiments on that kind of thing. Trump is not a Christian. No, he is not. Satan's more Christian than Trump. Okay, well, I think you were called a bigot because you made a bigoted comment about Muslims. Being willing to look it up is half the battle. That's good. All right. How long has this stream been up for? We are 2 hours, 18 minutes, and 57 seconds into it. The debt is awful, but the pollution is worse. Kelly sees something in you that is different. Gary, there are two things I think about or separate Gary from being a troll. One is Gary never punches down. Well, the Muslim thing is getting close, but the other thing is he doesn't go away. Like he's persistent. So I'm hoping that eventually he might have some kind of agreement. Oh, MT was bragging on you. Sorry. I think about an hour, maybe a little longer. Not quite late. Brett was, you were at least listening the first 30 minutes. We know who told Gary that she made $30 million. It was Fox News. Yeah, Fox News should definitely be outlawed. I mean, it's really hard to know what to do with these sorts of things because, like I'm all for free speech, and but free speech assumes that people are acting in good faith and that they're actually trying to, like free press, and that people are actually trying to be honest with you. And when you've got things like Jesse Waters, who is just dishonest, there's no, that's not being mean or being judgmental or being liberal. Jesse Waters just goes on the air and he just lies through his teeth. He just lies. And people believe his lies, and then they repeat his lies, and they regurgitate his lies. I don't know what to do because, like if you make it, well, okay, Fox News is illegal because all they do is disinformation. Well, what's to somebody to say MSNBC just does disinformation and therefore that's illegal? Of course, you've already got Trump doing that, right? Like he's, anyway. Fox News is the source of pretty much every Republican lie. It's like you always mention, like they'll come in, they'll give you all the Fox News talking points, right? And then you'll be like, oh, is that what Fox News told you? And then they'll be like, oh, I don't watch Fox News. And it's like, okay, where that's the original source of your lie. And so, you got it from somebody on Twitter that got it on Fox News or whatever. But yeah, you can trace every Fox lie back, every lie back to Fox or Trump. But Trump says what Fox wants and Fox says what Trump wants. Life could be worse. Who wants to spend 10 days in a minivan in space with 4 coworkers and a single toilet with the fan broke and poop flying around? I mean, that's a literal poop show. I think they got it fixed, though. In the future, I will Google it first. You shouldn't do that for me. You should do that for you. When you hear when you hear something really terrible about a person, just go into AI and say, hey, is this true? I do this all the time. I do this 4 or 5 times a day. And sometimes it's stuff about Trump. There's stuff about Trump, accusations against Trump that never made it onto this show because I found out they weren't true first. You don't know the stuff that I don't say because it's not true. I fact check. I vet what I say before I do this show. Gary, you're a good person, we can tell. I if you came over to my house, I'd be happy to feed you, Gary. I honestly mean that. I'd love to sit down with you and give you some good home cooked food and have a conversation with you. Lisa give everybody something to at least I think he meant at least I gave everybody something to talk about for a little while. Yeah. I prefer when chats run the show. I actually enjoy it. Well, that committee could be plagued with bias as well. I'd like to see an evidence hierarchy because the media will at times get false information. They can update it later if needed. Yeah, I don't know how it would work out, but some kind of committee, some that actually determines things, just whether they're factually true or not. Like we have really gotten we have people like this morning, Tina Peters was trending on Twitter because people were saying that this judge sent her to jail and the judge should be disbarred. Tina Peters literally broke the law, had a jury trial, had 12 jurors say she was guilty. Then she was totally not repentant, not at all apologetic, still insisted she hadn't done anything wrong. So the judge threw the book at her, as judges will do in such situations. She is a felon and a criminal. She tried to help overthrow the United States government. She's not an innocent person. And this whole way that Republicans in MAGA have taken and they've reshaped everything about January 6th into just a protest. Meanwhile, BLM protests are somehow an insurrection, but an actual insurrection is a protest. Everything is upside down. Up is down, down is up. Trump is a draft dodger, but to MAGA, he's a war hero. Absolutely, like reality and the MAGAs, never the twain shall meet. So I agree. They need to have some kind of, like, really make sure that this is a real committee that's actually interested in truth. The thing is that there's like 25 lies, Republican lies for every liberal lie, and then they're not the same thing either. Gary, I thank you for that. That's another reason I like you. You generate a lot of chat. Rainbow Kitty, hi, welcome. I must have looked away when you showed. Yeah, he popped in here about a half an hour ago. Rainbow Kitty's another. Oh, by the way, if you're new here, like Mo and let's mow the lawn together. Mo, I think you just became Mo. Sorry, but if you know, like Mo and Better Place, if you guys want to hit like and subscribe, that would be appreciated. Republicans have a hard time separating strong evidence from opinion or even satire. Ted Cruz, that Ted Cruz got baited by a satire article and thought it was real and got really, really upset about a fake news story. Well, I don't think respect has to be earned. It can be given freely. I don't think all people deserve respect. Many people deserve punishment. I respect that. See what I did there? Trump is still playing the same game. He just removed the Bondi and Patel pawns off the chessboard because they were dipped in poop. He just replaced them with clean-looking versions. Same game. He's not playing three-dimensional chess. He's playing three-dimensia chess. Donald Trump he has no, like a chess player thinks 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 moves ahead or 7 moves, they say chess masters, they're like 7 moves ahead or whatever. Donald Trump doesn't even know what his next move is. Donald Trump doesn't even know when he poops his own pants. They recently uncovered papyrus scripts that are thousands of years older than the Dead Sea Scrolls that describe moving the pyramid blocks by boat. I'll have to look into that. I hadn't heard that. What's the why are you bringing that up though? Florida is wildly racist. Oh, I'm a very, very much aware of that. I mean, look at their governor. Maybe wiki hierarchy of evidence. I'd like to see something like that in the media. When I'm actually Brett, for a while I was working with the team that it was like a sensitive issues topics for training Gemini. And so we'd have to go through and look at different Gemini responses. So if you like Gemini, I am part of the reason. I helped train Gemini. I'm subbed. I think we might have some good conversations. I hope so. You seem like a pretty smart person. And I'm interested in this whole pyramid thing. I'm gonna have a chat with some AIs about this to find out more about it once the show's over. The pawns of Trump are just moving off the chessboard. The crown is falling soon. So here's a question for you. I can't use MTG anymore. Who would win a chess match between Tommy Tuberville and Lauren Boebert? whoever finished eating their pieces the first. I think nice people in Florida. I think the nice people in Florida that they don't say anything are the same type of Republicans that don't say anything when MAGA does their crazy poop. It's because it doesn't affect them yet. Yep. Same ones, same as the nice people in Texas here. And it's also like I am, in case you haven't been able to figure this out. I know that some MAGAs seem to struggle with this, but I am a middle-aged white man. And being a middle-aged white man in Texas, people make certain assumptions about me. And they will just come up to me and start randomly saying crap that they would say to their little inbred community. And they get surprised when I'm not. So one day I was at the vet with my dog, and this guy came and he sat down next to me, and this was like in 2016. And he started saying something about Hillary Clinton lying. And he's like, "Oh, she just lies all the time." And I was like, "Donald Trump doesn't lie." And he's like, "No." Boy, did he talk to the wrong person. He brought it up, not me. So I sat there and I just lit into him for like the next 20 minutes. And the man was just, you could just tell he was just praying for his appointment to come up. Then it finally did, and he was out of there fast. And there were some other Texans sitting near me that were happy about my diatribe. We'll just say that. I live in a community that's about 50-50. But oh, the Life Pillow guy got served? The My Pillow guy? Whoa. What did he get served for? Anyway, so I don't, Mike, what did he get served for? I just checked on Twitter. I couldn't find anything. Let's be fair. Fox News started only to counter the other side of the scale. They didn't really. Like, I've been having this argument since Fox News existed, since before Fox News existed, since Rush Limbaugh existed. And there's always been this kind of the liberal news, because it wasn't because it wasn't a conservative bias, then it had a liberal bias. But if I'm being fair, it was never a bias at all. It just said reality, and reality has a liberal bias. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, Walter, but I've been having this conversation my entire adult life. I've been having this conversation since the 80s, and long before Fox News was a thing. This whole liberal media stuff, something Reagan made up. Fox of now is basically Russian wishes being aired on America. Oh man, Putin is scripting not only the news, but Donald Trump's presidency. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. Someday, Gary, if you're ever in Texas, look me up. Lindell is nuts, but does make a comfortable pillow. I have never tried one of his pillows. Aren't they made out of like recycled tires or something? Or is that Crocs? Are his pillows made out of recycled Crocs? I know he got really mad when somebody called them lumpy. You guys are nicer than me. I won't even let my mom come over. If my mom come over, I'd kind of freak out because she's been dead for 15 years. Just in case you didn't hear it, the Bureau of Land Management and U.S. Forestry has both have been dismantled. They are down to less than 10% of their staff compared to 3 years ago. There is money in this for somebody that has given money to Trump. Tina Peters first on the plane to Greenland for the new Jim Jones. What's the mean oil? Derek's on top of national landmarks. Hey. Okay. So Brett likes 3 Dementia chess. At one point, the media presented evidence these days. Pretty much all media only present opinion, and that's how you. This is 100% correct. It used to be the news presented the news. Now they present people's thoughts on the news, and actually not very much news. And so you have a people, a general populace on both sides. I see a lot of nonsense spoken on both sides, but more on the right, much more on the right. People regurgitating things. We have more opinions than facts, and we should have more facts than opinions. And a lot of people don't seem to understand what the difference between a fact and an opinion is. A fact is a true thing. It is not a viewpoint. It is just a true thing. The difference between a fact and an opinion is a fact would be true whether you were alive or not. An opinion needs your existence in order to have it. It's what you think. But what you think should be based on things that are true, that should be based on things that are facts. What goes up, must come down. That is a fact. Gravity is a fact. Things fall. That's a fact. So my opinion is if I drop this glass, it will fall. That's an opinion about what happens when I let go of the glass. But it's based on the fact that gravity exists. Right? We are much our opinions are much more defensible if they are based on facts. Right? So it is a fact that, for instance, less than 100 people have been convicted of voting as non-felons over the last 42 years. That's a fact. That's a verifiable fact. And that's out of over 2 billion votes. Less than 100. It's also a verifiable fact that there are at least 2 million people in this country. This is a conservative estimate, a conservative guess, of people that don't have birth certificates and have no way to get birth certificates. So if you make proof of citizenship a requirement to vote, you are getting rid of 2 million potential voters. Not because they did anything wrong, illegal or whatever. You just decided that you were going to change the rules. Right? So, fact number 1 is you're only affecting like maybe a couple of people per year by our current system with non-citizens voting. Fact number 2, you will be disenfranchising 2 million people per year if you make having a birth certificate an obligation to vote. You talk about passports and you talk about military IDs or these places where like there are some states where you can get it on your driver's license. But in all of those places, in all of those cases, you need a birth certificate to get your passport. You need a birth certificate to get get citizenship put on your military ID. You need to get a birth certificate to have it put on that state ID. You need to actually prove your citizenship with birth certificates virtually to get all the other IDs that are accepted. So if you don't have if a birth certificate was never issued for you, or if the original birth certificate was destroyed through no fault of your own, you don't have any way of getting a verified birth certificate. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be allowed to vote. And fact number 3, 2 million is a much larger number than 2. All right, so my opinion, based on those 3 facts, is that the SAVE Act is more about keeping people from voting than it is to keep non-citizens from voting. So, and that's to Better Place's point here. That's where the media needs to step in and just say what the facts are instead of having a 30-minute conversation, or 15-minute conversation where you got 2 people yelling at each other on the and over each other on the TV, where both sides sit there and just agree with their own perspective. Question for the room: is 39 middle age? Well, this is so the average age of males in the U.S. is 40. Average age of life expectancy is 79 years. So this is how I look at it. 39 is just about half of 79. So you don't get more middle than that. Like you're not just middle age, dude. You're like median age. And actually, 39 is also the median age in the United States. Like half the people in the country are older than you and half the people in the country are younger than you. So you don't get any more middle aged than you. Maybe I'm not middle aged anymore. I don't know what, like, let's say if we split it into 4, then 56. Well, I think I'd be a little bit past middle age, maybe. I'm 58. Is that still middle aged? What do we call middle age? MAGA struggles. Full stop. MAGA struggles with everything. Breaking news: Army Chief of Staff being forced out. Yeah, we talked about that a little while ago, Walter. Kitty had the thought that I thought was Resistance Kitty, not Rainbow Kitty. Had I think a pretty reasonable thought that he probably refused to commit a war crime. Because last night, the president of the United States threatened Iran with war crimes. And then today, out of nowhere, the Army Chief of Staff is being asked to resign. Remember, there was another admiral that resigned rather than commit war crimes. Brett says, no, 39 is squarely late millennial. You still got a few years before hitting the traditional 40 to 60. Well, he's got 1 year before he hits 40. Is 40 considered like that? That's the official beginning of middle age? I don't know. I've got a couple of years left by your thing. But millennials are getting to be middle-aged. And Gen Z are not like little teenagers anymore either. Gen Z are turning in like a lot of Gen Z are adults. I am Gen X, and everybody always forgets about Gen X. Even though we are the generation that had all the best cultural stuff. And if you don't believe me, Phoebe Cates. That's all you need to know. Phoebe Cates. Phoebe Cates proves we are the greatest generation. Donald Trump's last term, 35,000 verified lies. And they stopped counting, And he's gotten worse this term. Donald Trump lies about everything. People are like, "Oh, he said that he would take his daughter on a date." No. He would not take Ivanka on a date, or he said, "I'd like to date my daughter." No, he'd like to have sex with his daughter. He wouldn't actually pay for a date. It's okay, I can handle it. MTW is about half the life expectancy. So evidence suggests yes. Just don't eat fried foods and you'll be good. I'm almost done with my book. I'm about 85% of the way done with my book. And it has nothing to do with politics. It's just about healthy eating and what I've learned about healthy eating. I had high blood pressure, and that's resolved through diet. I've lost 50 pounds, resolved through diet. I had 25-year digestion problems that were resolved through diet. And I can still eat fried foods. So there you go. That's just a teaser for my book. Everybody have a good evening. Gary the Bigot. I just think of you as Gary the Bus. Goodbye, Gary. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world as you know it. See you, Gary. See, everybody's so nice to Gary. Life expectancy, where in the blue zones? So 50 is halfway home, and their quality of the life for those. For at least 50 far exceeds that in the USA. Yeah, the USA is not the best. Like, we always talk about how the USA is the greatest country in the world, but we never actually think about it. Don't worry, Gary. Sunday is Easter. Even he came back. Go look into the Rupert Murdoch history. He's a nut. He is a nut. Mike and Lindell is served with a lawsuit from FedEx. For $9 million in unpaid fees. How do you run up a $9 million FedEx bill? Like, what is he doing? How do you get $900 million or $9 million in unpaid FedEx fees? That is nuts. What was he sending? Fox News is owned by an Australian conservative family that owns conservative media all over the world. It started in Australia, it spreads to America, it spreads to the UK, and now the whole world. And his nut jobbery, his particular brand of nut jobbery, is being spread all over the world. I think he owns the Post too now, the New York Post. Okay. There's a video clip of it. It's very okay. So I'm gonna go on and see this Mike Lindell served. Okay. Oh, he was in the middle of an interview or something. All right. So I'm gonna try and share this. Here, let me. Okay, there we go. All right.
Into our country, most of them break a law within the first 3 months. Most of them, we're on TV here, please. We're on TV, please. We're on TV, please. Okay, we're on TV, please. We're on TV, please. Okay, we're on TV, please.
What are you serving him with?
We're on TV,
What-
please.
what-
We're on TV,
what are you-
please.
what are you
I'm not
serving him
accepting
with?
this.
What-
I'm not accepting.
What are you trying to serve, ma'am?
We're on TV, please.
Yeah.
We're on TV, please. Okay. Into our country.
We're on TV. We're on TV, please. We're on TV. We're on TV. You can't serve me. We're on TV. Ha ha ha. Guess what? You got served. Even though you were on TV. Too bad, so sad. Okay, well. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. There's let's just say I've been through all that and I do not take the Bible literally. I think if you take the Bible literally, then you're going to end up in that conundrum. We need a media hierarchy of evidence. The stream has really reinforced my feelings of that as being a fact. I miss the Cronkite era, obvious reasons. Not so many Walters out there. I've heard of, yeah, I don't, I think I was around a little bit during the Walter Cronkite era, but wasn't watching the news. Who was I'm like more in the Dan Rather generation, but I mean I still remember when news was more about news than spin, and now it's just all about spin. The only media that I've ever had any respect for was NPR in the 90s and early thousands. Watching Fox Opinions with the 5 months. I cannot stand I don't watch Fox News, but you know, like I'm on Twitter, and so like guys like Asen, you know, like they share the clips. I don't know how Asen doesn't go completely nuts. But you know, so I know the clips and stuff, but it's just like some of the things these people say and do are just ridiculous. I stopped visiting my grandparents because Fox News on full volume used to make me physically ill. My wife has an uncle that she went to visit, and he just had Fox News on all the time. And my wife is like to the left of me. And she came back and she was like, man, it's just so constant that she could understand how MAGAs get MAGA'd. It's just the bombardment of just fake thing after fake thing after fake thing after fake thing, and then it's like hard to separate after a while. I have NPR on. I can't listen to the other talk radio now. I don't listen to talk radio. I actually, most of my news I read at this point, and probably, I don't know if this is good or bad, but lately I find I get a lot of help from, you know, like Chat GPT or Google, or just talking through the news with them and really challenging things. And then, you know, like obviously you can hear things that aren't true or see things that aren't true because it's all parsed, but you can also go back and you can look at the sources and push back and stuff like that. So I try to understand the news, but I think that the basic elements of facts are lost in it. BBC is probably one of the better ones. I think that, like MS Now they're calling it MS Now. I think that's not bad. I think it's kind of mislabeled. I will say it's more about that there's more opinion behind it than fact, but at least the opinions are largely based on fact, especially when it comes to like the legal cases and stuff like that. Some of the people they have on there are really good. I'm quit listening to NPR. They become way too much opinion. What do you think of France? 24 or DW News? Yes, BBC, and I use live UMAP for a straight fact on the Iran-Israel conflict. I have never listened, so don't have an opinion. It's always good to have an open mind to other sources. I think it's always good to have an open mind, period. But there are some sources that it's not about having an open mind. It's like I have an open mind to trying new foods. That doesn't mean I'm going to eat arsenic. Like poison is poison. I think, have an open mind to other thoughts, other ideas, other viewpoints is great. But having an open mind to known disinformation liars is just inviting yourself to be corrupted. And I don't mean corrupted in the sense that you're going to be a corrupt person. I mean, your brain is going to be corrupted. It's when they share an opinion, I get turned off, even if they tell me what I want to hear. I know I'm just being placated. 79, mom and dad didn't even get that far. There's only my dad's 80th birthday is coming up in October. I'm so happy. I just hope I can see him. His wife is Brazilian, and he lives in Brazil, and he hasn't been able to come here in a couple of years because poop head. He doesn't want to come here with his Brazilian wife because he doesn't want his wife to be apprehended by ICE, and she doesn't want to be apprehended by ICE. There's ever only been one Gen X president, and most likely there's never been one. Obama's not Gen X. Obama's boomer. Pretty sure. Yeah, 1961. So he's a cusper, or I think there's some kind of Jones or something, but boomers go until 65. Lindell is the perfect example of MAGA logic. All he had to do was STFU and sell pillows. He just had to say something. I used to like his commercials. Bleep him. I'm convinced that the theory of cholesterol is nonsense. Every piece of evidence that I've read and every study I've read for the last 30 years tells me it's about arterial inflammation. I've been like I've been studying more about the microbiome and gut health and how you have this like entire system of microbes living in your own body as this like we're almost like more of a what's the word I'm looking for, in a symbiotic relationship with this whole microbial colony. And so like they say you are what you eat, and I almost want to refine that to say you are what you give your microbiome to eat, because your microbiome does like half your digestion for you, and what you feed your microbiome depends on how they act. And if you feed your microbiome the wrong foods, then they will feed you the wrong parts of it, and you will actually feel worse. There's this thing called the gut-brain axis. that axis that regulates your sleep and your mood and all kinds of things. Anyway, it's all in my book. And I kind of just, I kind of fell into all of this by accident, just by changing to fresh milled flour. And then I started getting into fermenting foods and sprouting and eliminating super processed foods. And that particular combination of things, I lost like 50 pounds and feel better. Kind of worked through my long COVID. I might have like better stamina. Oh, that trash Kid Rock. Kid Rock. He touched it, served. Kid Rock, an a-hole that literally got into the entertainment industry, hanging out with the hip hop artists. I bet he doesn't ever show up. Yeah, I mean, like, talk about cultural appropriation. Fox equals elderly companionship. Why is that? Some words are so much harder to say when you're trying to read them out loud on a live stream. I used to work in IT for 9/11 EMS before retiring. You're retired, Frenzo? Wow. Are you older than I thought, or are you just highly No, I think you're the same age as me, right? I think you're just like smarter than me and made a bunch of money. I used to work in IT for 9/11 EMS before retiring. Fox News, 24/7, 365 is better than Fire PD Lifeguard. It's all they watch. Oh, yeah, I'm not surprised. I've known people that worked in Chicago. Had good friends that worked in Chicago that were EMTs, and they work in the same house as the fire department. And yeah, they were all right wingers that watch Fox News all the time. Department of Corrections, true too. There's actually inmates that watch Fox News on TV and go along with hating themselves. That's not at all surprising. It's all the other ones. It's everybody else. There must be some kind of background signal that just mesmerizes certain people. Well, my dad is 99 going on 100. That is awesome. Wow. So he would have been born in 1926. Man, that dude has lived through some stuff. He has lived through some stuff. So he was 3 years old when the stock market crashed. So he went through a lot of stuff. Prejudices are 100% about the hoarding of resources. Figure out the rest from there. There's actually really good research on the psychology of prejudice, and most of the things that I've read related back to tribalism and how we evolved to compare with tribes around us. I mentioned this before. There was a guy that this professor of sociology, and he conducted this experiment without telling anybody. It was the first day of class, and he came in and he came in 15 minutes late. But before he went in there for the class, like before class, he set up these little placards that had numbers 1 and 2 on them, and he just randomly scattered them across all the desks. And he deliberately came in 15 minutes late. So he came in and he's like, okay, everybody that had the number 1 on your card, raise your hand. And the right side of the room all raised their hands. And then he said, all right, everybody that had number 2, raise your hand. And the left side of the room raised their hands. And they had gone in and just organize themselves into ones and twos based on their little placard. It's just self-tribalism. And then throughout the rest of the class, they still thought of themselves as ones and twos and had a rivalry between the ones and the twos. There is something innate about our nature that we like. We cling to tribalism. We want to be with this group, and then that causes us to want to be against that group. It's really interesting. I bet you've read some interesting research, because I think that the topic itself is interesting. Like a caveman instinct. I have to be leaving in a few minutes. Yeah, we're over 3 hours now. After high school, I took training to become a scuba welder for Chevron offshore oil platforms. Retired after 50 years. When I was getting ready to retire, I was making $600. Dude, that's not a bad day's work. Not a bad day's work at all. Have a great evening, Brett. If you haven't left yet, then yes, thanks for stopping by, and thanks for helping monitor the chat. Motorola trunking radio systems and scuba telemetry. I'm 58 years and I'm finished. 58. Man. That's cool. His stuff is a mystery to me still. I've asked a bunch of people who work in satellite technology, and that's such a different world. There are some people that do stuff and it's just like you ask them about it, and then after their explanation, you have less of an idea what they do. You're just like, okay, this is clearly not like, this is not a I missed my calling type thing. I'm 71 now and working for Fish and Wildlife. Well, hopefully Donald Trump's not paying you. It sounds like those jobs are on the outs. So I am over an hour late going for what I was going for. So I'm going to log off now. I hope you guys have a great day. And I'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock Central Time. Ooh, I've got to play my outro video now.
Ran through the noise, now the pieces align. Pull back the curtain, let you see the design. Machine Punk Kelly, yeah, we played that game, but the truth stays steady while they shuffle the frame. He's still rising, but the signal cuts clean. What you saw tonight ain't just what it seemed. From the chaos to the calm, let it settle in slow. Take the light with you when you step out the show. Out clear, eyes up, don't fall for the spin. Hold that line when the noise rolls in.